Now, the issue of gun control, of course, has been in the spotlight with that shocking tragedy in Florida, in the gay nightclub, 50-plus people murdered. And we all turned our sort of sights to that. But here, a group of MPs on the Law and Order Select Committee are looking into how criminals get hold of guns after the mass shooting in Orlando. Do we need to reevaluate our attitude to guns? What do you think, Matt Ducey?
Oh, can I first say, Wallace, my thoughts go with friends and families of those who are lost in the nightclub. And I don't mean to be flippant here. I lived in London to tube bombings, and the next day they said, go on the tubes, go on the buses. And I just wonder, in solidarity, we go to all the gay nightclubs and have a great time, because we know they are a great time, and it's a great place of inclusiveness and everyone getting together. So I think we should support that. Back in New Zealand
now... There's a
yeah.
recommendation from Matt Ducey.
Yeah, let's get out there. New Zealand first, be with me. Yeah.
All right.
But I think for us, you know, gun crime and violence is only about 1.4% in New Zealand. So it is a troublesome stat, but I don't think we should blow it up out of proportion. I think the real concern here is how many illegal guns are getting into gangs and the hands of criminals. And that's exactly what the Select Committee you mentioned is addressing or looking into.
I want to just turn, Jenny Salisa, quickly to Orlando. When you see that US situation, what would you do around gun control there? What could you possibly do? What do you think?
You know, in the States, and having lived there for a period of 10 years, their gun culture, they're much more accepting of actually having guns. And what I would like not to see in New Zealand is us actually being accepting of gun culture and gun violence in this country.
Were you scared of gun culture when you were... Where did you live there?
Over in Michigan. My husband was an associate professor at the University of Michigan, and yes is the answer to that question.
Really?
Well, everywhere you went, even when you were driving in your car, there was always a thought in your mind, would I be the victim of gun violence? Because it happened right around where we were. And at a university, where my husband was, we actually had conversations many times, because these sorts of violence actually happened at universities out there. And so the plan that we hatched was, he was on the first floor over at the University of Michigan, that he would jump out, that was plan A, of the window. Plan B, he's a Samoan, and he had a decorative cricket badge, and that would be plan B, if ever that would happen.
So you've thought about this. What about you, Fletcher? Because Winston Peters said, quoting, "Those who blame it on gun control are wrong." He blamed it on the lack of border controls.
Did he actually say that? Because...
Well, he put two and two together.
Yeah, so
I mean, that was quite something when he
intent of the
inferred
speech
that.
was, don't be kind of sidelined by the gun issue over there. And let's be honest, there is a huge gun issue over there that needs to be addressed. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And Winston did give a controversial speech in the House where he used that as an opportunity to highlight the fact that we need to be good and thorough about our immigration and our refugees.
And do you agree with him?
Of course I agree with him. Yeah.
All right. What about New Zealand? Actually, let's go to Ali Ikram about gun control, both overseas, what they thought, and here in New Zealand. Then we'll come back to the panel.
Around 14% of the weapons seized by the police from...
No, sorry, we can't hear. We've got a bit of a sound issue, so I want to talk about the issue here. What about this? We've got over 1 million guns in New Zealand. I think that's right. What are they used for, Matt?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask, Wallace. I'm not big into guns myself. But I suppose the difference here, maybe compared to other parts of the world, is we license people rather than the guns. And when you look at that, we're licensing people. They go through vetting. They have to study the safety code and do training as well. So all in all, a good system. But it'll never prevent someone who's planned to take that course of action. And
yet, Fletcher, you can get these AR-15 guns that are used by mass shooters. You can get them, they are available in Aotearoa.
Yes, so I have some sympathy with the system in that not only Matt spoke about registering people, but a weapon like that actually needs to be registered as well.
And banned?
Well, the capacity on a weapon like that is so small that you couldn't possibly do what that guy did in New Zealand with that particular rifle. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not condoning it. I've never fired a gun in my life except for high school air rifle kind of thing. I don't know the culture, but most of my friends are hunters. So you know, you have to appreciate that good people use firearms and they use them safely and they use them for recreation and they use them to sustain a lifestyle. We must crack down on all those illegal weapons. That's where the problem is.
All right. Interesting point, Fletcher. Let's go back to Ali Ikram.
Around 14% of the weapons seized by police were semi-automatic military-style rifles, a recent report showed. They didn't seem to be too worried by that, saying it was an internal criminal thing. What do you think about when you hear those numbers?
Well, it's hard not to be concerned. The main thing I think about gun control is it's probably a resourcing issue. I mean, you can get a lot of agreement of the sort of weapons that seem reasonable for people who want to go hunting and so forth, or for enthusiasts. And then there's a whole class of other weapons that probably shouldn't be there for any reason. So I think that if they are there, it's a resourcing issue. We'd all agree on what to do, I think.